Howdy, howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. I got a little bit of a special video today. So, I did a poll a couple weeks ago and I was asking y'all, what kind of video would y'all like to see? More of a COT collection video or a junkyard video? Well, guess what? You're getting both. Congratulations. So, I'll be showing off my Diecast junkyard video. Now, so basically what I like to do is I like to get a bunch of cars like this. You know, these beaten, battered, dusty, and dirt COT diecasts. I usually buy each one for like $3 a pop. You know, no one wants these cars. I mean, these cars are completely roached, right? Well, I take these cars. I take them, I rip them apart. You know, I take all the pieces out, the windows, the axles, all that good jazz, and strip it down to the bare metal, right? I build custom diecasts out of it. So, I kind of have like a small stockpile of these diecasts that I kind of just hoard a little bit, and I take parts off of them and I build custom diecasts. In this video, we're gonna be talking about each one of those cars in my current junkyard collection here, and maybe some extra projects coming up for the new year. Yeah, I'll be announcing 6 brand new custom diecast projects at the end of this video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and start with this. So this right here was it's a little junkyard set. Has you know, is growing up, whatever. This is a little junkyard set. This was the perfect backdrop for this video. This is a 2008 or is it 2009? I think it's 2008 Casey Kane. These cars are so overproduced. These are my go-tos when I want to make a Dodge custom. Casey Kane diecasts are generally my go-to. I'll take these cars, I'll strip them apart. It doesn't matter if it's damaged, it's mint. These are censored diecasts. The original car is supposed to say Budweiser. These are those cheap censored ones. I use these for customs all the time. So here's a Casey Kane diecast over here. Over here a little bit more in the junkyard. Now these are not like cars I want to make customs out of. These are actually some cars that I've, you know, intentionally damaged or whatever for display. So if you go back to the first ever NASCAR Diecast Cup Series race, these things are kind of dusty, I might say. This car set on pole. This was Ryan Newman's Caterpillar car he ran in Season 1 of the NASCAR Duralast Cup Series. And pretty much, I took that car. I didn't want to sell it. I was like, look, this is a pretty cool car. You know, this was on pole for the first ever video on Diecastbuffet. So you know what I did? I took it and I made a custom out of it. And you can see the rust and all kinds of damage to it. Even rusted, you know, the actual chassis and cockpit of the car here. But yeah, definitely, this thing is beyond roached. Cut the whole nose and the front end off of it. So it's pretty much just a, hanging shell. But definitely, a lot of work went into getting that one. I have another one over here. Now, I had a couple of these Eric Jones Sport Clips cars. Well, this one, I wanted to make a custom out of it because I was like, you know what? Why not? I wanted to make a just complete roached shell. And with the paint scheme kind of being a little bit retro, honestly kind of reminds me of like some 50 stock car stuff. Seeing the kind of white on it, kind of like, I would say more of a faded cream color with the weathering effects. I thought it was really cool. I even put some old tires from a, I think it was a 2001 Jerry Nadeau diecast I had. Literally, it fell apart because some of those old diecast metal, they actually break apart. So I had a bunch of these like spare axles. Well, I took it and I put it on this car. So it kind of gives it a little bit more depth. I do have a spare tire right there. But this thing is completely roached. The whole roof of it is completely roached out. It is rotten through the metal and rusted. And basically, this car is, it's a crapshoot. Obviously, you can see the back axle here. It's just hanging there. Truth be told, though, if I really wanted to, I could fix up this car because the A, B, and C pillars are all good. There's no cuts or nothing. I could strip this car back to the bare metal and restore it and build a race car out of it. Like I said, these are kind of dusty, so don't mind me. But yeah, definitely, I could restore this car here. But I wanted to make a display piece out of that. So, and you know, these cars, they all have a, you know, a little bit of a meaning to me. This is another car I picked up and I plan on doing a video on it. Check out this freaking back axle here. Holy crap, man. That's insane, bro. So this thing is completely roached. I mean, look at the front axle. I mean, good God almighty. What is this, a freaking three-wheeler? So, this is a 2008 Tony Stewart. Now, this was produced on the promo mold, so these are really fun to build with. I'm planning on making a diecast out of this bad boy someday. Obviously, the main car was produced with a Toyota Camry mold, but since this is kind of an obscure one, I was like, hey, that's going to be a cool car to make. Here's another one of the custom damaged NASCAR diecasts I made. This is a 2018 Brad Keselowski discount tire car. Now, what's really interesting about both of these cars is they both ran in the first ever NASCAR Diecast Cup Series race. Of course, Ryan Newman sat on pole for that race, and Brad Keselowski crashed out in that race. So essentially, I'm just saying that the car crashed in the Daytona 500, the first ever Diecast Cup Series race, which is unscripted diecast racing. That started Diecastbuffet, so it was really important to get some cars from that first ever race and hold on to them. And this car crashed out, the 2 car. Well, this car sat on pole, so now I have both of them. So it's kind of a relic of the channel's history. I have the car that won that race. It's in mint condition, pretty much. It is a custom I made. And I got another one over here. Let's go check this one out. So this one was like the first ever damaged custom I made. And this one, I'd be saying, oh my god, it's a COT. So basically, funny story with this. So back in 2013, when I used to buy I used to get the COTs for dirt cheap because no one collected them then. Well, I bought it was a bulk lot of COTs, like 10 cars or whatever, right? Well, one of them was a 2008 or 2009 Casey Kane. And with that, the wing was actually chipped off, unfortunately. So I couldn't have made a custom out of this. So what I did is I took it apart, I ripped it apart, and made it look like a damaged piece of junk. Because the winglet was broke off. I wasn't going to sit there and spend $15 building a custom diecast with a broken wing. No. So I decided to make it some yard art. But yeah, this thing is completely roached. You can just see the rust effects all across this thing. This thing was damaged, it was chipped up. I wanted to make this thing a piece of junk, basically. So that's what I did. I made it a piece of junk. And I got a whole bunch more to show here, guys. This is going to be a full video, so get ready. So I got all kinds of dust on my hands here, but let's keep digging here. So I mentioned about the Tony Stewart diecast, and here's an interesting comparison. So back in the day, it was not uncommon for the same, the same diecast to get made on 2 different molds. This is a promo diecast up top. You can tell by the Gen 4 backside window. But the bottom one is a proper 2008 Tony Stewart Toyota Camry. Now, these Camry molds, I'm running low on them, guys. So this car is going to be in high commodity whenever I can build something out of the shell. But both of these die-cast, really good cars. And I paid about $3 about them. My philosophy is this. Is if the winglets are not broke, and the windows are not too terribly scratched, and the A, B, and C pillars are not bent, I'll pay $3 per car. I don't care what the condition is, because I'm going to strip the paint down to the bare metal, I'm going to brush it, get it all cleaned up. If the windows are yellowed, I can de-yellow them. I have a technique I use, retro brighting. I've saved numerous pieces of plastic that have yellowed due to that. So I'm able to kind of restore these cars, but my philosophy is $3, doesn't matter condition, and I will take it off your hands. This, though, is a mint condition Casey Kane diecast, and you might be thinking, oh, why are you destroying these cars? I only destroy the ones that are overproduced. This car is a great donor piece, and this is what I like to call a perfect find. The windows are not yellowed, A, B, and C pillars are all in good shape, spoiler good shape, and with these paint schemes, one thing I've noticed is that when the clear coat is intact, they actually peel off so much easier when you're stripping the paint. Because I use nail polish remover, and I take that, basically soak the car or whatever after you drill out all the plastics, because it will melt the plastic. But anyways, I just take it off, and the paint and stuff just strips off. It's so easy. But if you get a car, per se, like this, with a lot of chips and grooves into the clear coat, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, as the paint's already been exposed to oxygen, chemical reaction. It's a pain in the butt to get off. So that's another die cast right there. Here's another one. I have a couple of these. These are some Jamie McMurray die cast I picked apart back in the day. You can see how dusty these are. And these cars are supposed to be dusty. I want these things to look weathered, so I don't clean them off. I could easily clean them off, but I don't, because I want these things to look dusty. I want them to look like they've been sitting in a junkyard. Now, this one is what I would probably call a no-go. Now, you see this little scratch right here? That's on the A pillar, and you could probably see a slight dent there. I think the A pillar is actually dented. So, as someone who has built a custom diecast with a dented A pillar, it's really annoying. And in my opinion, it's not a waste of time, but it's just like, it's really frustrating, because the A, B, and C pillars need to be straight so the windows can pop in properly, and unfortunately, I think this car was stepped on. So basically, What that means for me is the shell is nothing more than yard art. So what I would say value for this car would be the axles, the Goodyear. See, one thing I like is I like the Goodyear lettering to be intact. I don't want to have to go get a decal sheet. So this one's a little bit chipped up. I wouldn't use this one. I would use this one though. And obviously on this side, it's very chipped up. What I would say is the back axle is savable on this one. The front one, what I would do honestly is I would take the axle, I would take some pliers, cut the axle, and take the actual plastic tire pieces off, stack them together, but I would take it like this, and you could stack them up and make tire stacks for like a garage diorama or something, you know? You could do some different interesting stuff. The windows are pretty dusty, but I could probably clean them up. The interior is good condition, so there's some pieces I could use off this car, but the shell, I would not build a custom on because you want to get the best pieces. You don't want to, you know, have crap that's going to be broke when you're trying to build a finished product. That's why you can even ask Little Wrangler 3, as we got a 2009 Tony Stewart primary here. But when you're building custom diecast, never overlook spare parts. You're going to need them someday. You might as well have some. This is a good car. It's an overproduced one. So this is a 2008 or 2009. Let's see. This is indeed a 2008 Jamie McMurray COT. Pretty much this diecast, what I would do with this one, and I'm not going to talk about each individual diecast, don't worry, I got a lot of cars to cover here, but I'm just giving you some examples of what I would do if I had this car in my diecast shop over here. The windows are a little bit yellow, right? Well, retro brining only works with good sunlight. Look, I live in Texas, so it could be Christmas Day and it could be 70 degrees outside. It could be 35, who knows? Texas is bipolar with weather. But with this, what I would take the windows off of it, right? I have a jar. I put all these plastic pieces that are yellowed. I sit them out in the sun with peroxide. And it has its own chemical reaction within the plastic, and it reduces the yellowing effect. Now, it could take days to do that. But here in the winter time, it's just not in the cards. It's just not enough sunlight. So that's something you got to do in the spring/summertime, especially here in Texas. But absolutely, the shell's in very good shape. You can really compare it here, how that A-pillar is slightly bent. It might not look like much, but I promise you it is bent. This is a good shell. The windows need work. The interior, another thing I would do, you could retro brine them, that works. Or if you need a time saver, you could take like a quick coat of some Krylon paint, black paint, or maybe if you could find like a medium tone gray, you could spray paint that, you know. It's a very cheap, very quick, effective manner to get rid of that yellowing effect and not have to, truly go out of your way to do it. Here's another good Chevrolet diecast. This one is definitely this is one of the first ones I'll pull from the pile because the windows are in great shape, the shell's in great shape. I scrap the track promos and stuff because I can't stand them. I like real diecast myself. Now this one here, oh sweet baby Jesus. This thing looks like it was stuck in someone's pocket on a smoke break. Holy crap, this thing's yellow. So this one was probably sitting in someone's garage. Who knows? Now, what's really funny, I've seen so many Carl Edwards Office Depot diecasts yellowed, like the interior yellowed ridiculously. Judging by the paint quality and the clear coat, this doesn't look like it was sitting too long outside or something to cause that. So it's either A, the fire retardant materials in this diecast just somehow expedited. Perhaps maybe the Carl Edwards diecast, they had a mishap with the plastic chemical mixture, and perhaps they didn't put the additives right into it, and maybe it expedited the yellowing process. As for those who don't know, the reason why diecast yellow is they put a fire retardant additive to reduce, obviously, flammability. But what it does is over time it yellows plastic. So you could probably see some plastics maybe from, if they even produced it, 50s or 60s, that won't yellow as aggressively as plastics produced in the 90s and early 2000s, even 80s as well. Because it was around the 70s and 80s where they started enforcing this for the, the made in China plastics and whatnot. So essentially it expedites it. So that's the reason why you see this crap on your diecasts. But it's a quick fix. Like I said, you could take a coat of Krylon that eliminates the interior. You could probably soak these windows for a good couple of days in the hot Texas heat, and this cat might be ready to go. I still got more cars over here, and this is a really interesting one y'all might like. this is a 2008 Kurt Busch. Now, I know, why are you scrapping a Kurt Busch diecast? Okay, look at this. So, someone already screwed up on the front wheel here. Check this out. So, the back wheels are blue. Well, someone painted the front one, so I know that's a no-go. Check this out. Dodge Avenger. Yeah, this is a Dodge Charger from 08. Got the Sprint Cup logo. That's an 08 car with the 08 or 07 nose emblem. Yellow windows. And it's a sensor diecast. I can't stand sensor diecast. You know, what I would honestly do with this Kurt Busch here, I would love it to strip it down to the bare metal, rebuild it, repaint it, and make a proper Miller Lite Kurt Busch diecast. You see what I'm saying? You know, you're not losing anything. You're enhancing the product. Because I love this shade of blue. But I want to put a Miller Lite logo on this diecast. I can't stand this Kurt Busch crap. I love Kurt Busch, but dang it, I want the proper Miller Lite stuff on the diecast. That's just me. But that's a great diecast to build with. Let's keep digging here. I got a pile of them, I might say. Here's the 2008 Jeff Gordon. Now, these Jeff Gordon diecasts, they were a dime a dozen. So I have no problem scrapping this. Like I said, these diecasts were produced in bulk. In 2010, Tony Stewart. Now, this one's definitely seen better days. It's faded. Oh, Jesus, this thing needs help. All these cars are chipped up and scratched. Here's a 08 Matt Kenseth. And like I said, for whatever reason, these diecasts are yellowed unbelievably. They're both 08 Fords. And believe it or not, the windows and the interior are all slightly different molds depending per manufacturer. So perhaps the plastics they used for the Ford Fusion run in 2008 might have had a wrong chemical mixture, perhaps a little bit more than it should have, and that expedited the yellowing effect. Again, that's just a theory. It could be wrong, but either way, these diecasts absolutely need a restoration because yellowed interiors are a no-go for me. Here is a 2008. Yeah, 2008 Kevin Harvick. Unfortunately, I already have a lot of these diecasts already, so that's actually a very good blessing, honestly. But yeah, this one's definitely seen better days. This is a pretty popular Kevin Harvick diecast right here, so I'm going to go ahead and set that down here. This one's kind of funny. So this is another 2008 Jeff Gordon. I was testing some clear coat methods. You can see the 24 behind it. But what I did is I cut out the 39 in paper. I put it on the car and I clear coated it. I was doing some testing to build the Monster Energy Ross Chastain Buffet Racing South Custom for 2020. I needed a car to test on, and well, this was the car to test on. So that's another one of those scrap cars. Here is, well, the most overproduced diecast in, well, the last 15 years probably. 2008 Dale Earnhardt Jr. Here's a mint condition 2008 Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet Impala. They made so many of them. I'm telling you, man, they're going to be in abundance for the next decade. Another overproduced 2008 Dale Earnhardt Jr. diecast. That one's got some severely yellowed windows. Let's keep digging here. This one's a really cool one, and I hate to scrap this one because it's a Johnson diecast, but this one's unusual. So this was produced on the promo mold. It's the Jimmy Johnson wrap. Really cool. The back axles on these promos I mean, they're just garbage. I mean, look at this. It's freaking ridiculous, man. You think it's a sprint car. No disrespect, but I mean, it's a stock car, not a sprint car. Even though it's Sprint Cup Series. But yeah, this one definitely has seen better days. These are kind of the worst of the worst. But they're all going to go for a good purpose, though. All these diecasts are going to a good purpose. They're not going to be thrown away. They're going to be rebuilt and repurposed to survive. You know, these cars were probably all played with at some point. They were probably in the diecast series. You might have seen on YouTube. These are the cars in their shape nowadays. They look all clean and prosper on YouTube. A decade ago, well, these cars, unfortunately, are just starting to degrade. And the years have been... they've been rough on the COTs. People didn't care about them, and now, well, it's kind of time someone took them home. And this is a 2009 Tony Stewart Office Depot Old Spice. Another great custom donor piece right there. Oh, check this out. Yeah, this thing creamed the wall. Another Jamie McMurray, and yeah, this cat had a bunch of Jamie McMurray cars that were beat up. So I said, screw it. I'll take it from the junkyard. Now, this one is a 2008 as well, so I think that's 308 Jamie McMurrays. Clearly this was in someone's diecast series, or perhaps they were making a custom diecast from maybe one of his hits on the wall in the 2008 Sprint Cup Series, but I gotta say it looks really cool, but it's a donor. This is a donor car. I'm sorry. It's gonna be a fun project down the road to build. And I'll be getting to the new project diecast I'm gonna be doing in a moment. This was another test car. You can see the paper here. I wanted to test how the clear coat would look and how it would wrap around and how would it soak into the paper, and that's why I put it there. Just a generic, what is it, 2010 Ford Fusion Aflac, you know, Ford for Roush. Just another heavily produced diecast right there. And another one, well, this is a moderately produced diecast, not super out, you know, out there like a 08 Dale Earnhardt Jr., but this is a 2008 Martin Truex Jr. They made multiple ones of these, and, you know, they made like the Daytona 500 one. They made the Winter Circle, of course, Gold Series. The heck, they could have made a promo of this as well. Just not a super uncommon one like the 09. Definitely has seen better days, but I already have this diecast as well. Here's another COT. This is a 2009, I think? No, this is a 2008. 2008 Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. This is going to be a fun project car. This thing, for whatever reason, just looks kind of funky. I don't know why. But yeah, you can see 2009. Wait, these both 08s? Both of these are 2008 Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s. Again, they were so overproduced in their time. Interesting to note. What? Whoa, hold up. I just noticed that. Check this out, guys. So this one's actually customized. Huh. So like I said, these could have been in someone's diecast series, but check this out. The side skirts are painted on this one. That's weird. So you see this? The side skirts are painted on this one, but they're not on this. And the reason how I know that is that the side skirts they're kind of aggressive. They're not really a smooth line. You can see how they try to tuck in the probably a Sharpie or something. And you can see on this side, see very you can see those little kind of divots. That's what happens when you use a paint pen or a Sharpie. So this was a part of someone's diecast series back in the day. Or they just like customizing their cars. That's pretty cool. Our last car here, Jeff Gordon 2010. Again, another very, very commonly produced diecast. But check this out, guys. Oh my goodness. We got so many scrap COTs here. Check this out. I mean, whoa. Look at the freaking diecasts. And to think all of these cars, guys, all of these cars are going to go to a good cause. You know, all these cars are going to be made into customs. These are cars no one cared about. Like, literally, these are cars that sat in someone's collection they didn't care about. Clearly, they didn't keep them clean. And I'm making customs out of it. And I don't scrap the super rare ones. I know the value of every COT diecast. Believe me, I've studied the market for, what, 8 years now. And these are cars that were forgotten about. And I want to repurpose them. And that's the reason why I have my diecast junkyard. You know, these are cars that, think about it, they're not going to waste, you know? How many people would have looked at this car here and said, oh God, I don't want that. But if I can take parts off this and take the shell off this car, I can make at least one more finished diecast. And, you know, you're kind of preserving an era of stock car racing as well, because they only made so many of these cars. You know, at some point these things are going to dry up and be almost extinct in the diecast realm. So the projects here, I have 6 new projects for the diecasts, and I'll be announcing them here. So let's go ahead and start off with our first project announcement. So we're going to be making a 2010 Bobby Labonte, James Finch 09, Coke Zero Chevrolet. That's going to be really cool. We're also going to be making a 2009 Brad Keselowski. Yeah, the car that he won Talladega with back in 09. We're going to be making that car. Not the raced version, but the clean version. We'll be making that. We're also going to be making 2010 Clint Boyer Wheaties Fuel Impala. That's going to be freaking awesome because I love that diecast. God, I love the 124. I want to make the 164, so that's going to be a really cool car to make. We're also going to be producing 2010 Hamburger Helper Chevrolet Impala. Now, I can't start on these projects until I finish my current ones. So these are down the road. I'll be able to hopscotch and hopefully get to them. So anyways, those diecasts, that's 4 right there. I still got 2 more I got to announce here. And the next car I'm going to be producing, this one might be the coolest one, 2009 Eric Almirola Metallica Guitar Hero Chevrolet Impala. Oh my Jesus, that's gonna be such a fun build to do. Oh my God. That's gonna be cool. Like that's the bee's knees right there. Now, I thought about doing a 2007 Dale Earnhardt Jr. Budweiser COT with the proper decals. I'm still hoping, and one day I can find one, you know, just a non-elite 164 for the Budweiser COT. And our final project of the next diecast wave for Diecastbuffet, 2008. Yeah, it's got some Talladega connections here. 2008 Regan Smith. Principal Chevrolet Impala. So that's 6 diecast there. 2 Boyers, a Labonte, Keselowski, Regan Smith, Eric Almirola. So a lot of cool paint scheme there. And that's where these diecasts are going to go to. Over time, I'm going to, you know, keep making customs out of these because these things have dried up. Think about it. These things were in the factories a decade ago. People don't care about these things anymore. I'm one of the few that actually do, and it's time someone put some love back in these cars. So that's why I make these customs. That's why I repurpose these cars, and it's really an honor to be able to do this stuff. So that's today's video. A little bit something different. Figured y'all might like this. I hope y'all do at least. And if you did, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you have an amazing day out there. Crap load of freaking junkers over here. Diecastbuffet. Stay humble. Signing off.